everybody, your host SonGoshuaku, live for this review of WWE WrestleMania 40 Night 2. Alright, so we kick things off with Stephanie McMahon coming out for the first time in what we haven't seen her in like 2 years, rocking the 2003 SummerSlam gear. If you remember that one where she took down Sable and then celebrated with The Undertaker, the same person who tried to abduct her and force marry her against her will. Man, pro wrestling, you gotta love it. But yeah, she was basically out here to sing her husband's praises, as everyone has done, because when you look at this show, Cody Rhodes finally finished the story, and that's exactly what it was about tonight, but we're gonna get more into that with detail. So let's start things off with the very first match. It was for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. All right, so going ahead with this match, I thought that was something that was really cool, is that we did get Drew McIntyre coming out with, because, you know, obviously because of his Scottish heritage, a very rowdy Piper S type of entrance. So I thought that was really cool. And then Seth Rollins came out with some sort of parade with him. You know, he brought himself an army for the entrance. I'm like, oh man, bring all of them for the bloodline. You're gonna need that army, right? So as soon as the bell gets going, Drew McIntyre comes in like boom right there with the Claymore for Seth Rollins, and I'm thinking, man, this right here is how you kick off WrestleMania 40. They were even saying that the weather was a lot warmer now compared to what it was the previous night. So the fans were definitely really rowdy for this. From there, the story of the match is that Seth Rollins hurt his knee, of course, being in the main event the previous night. And from there, basically, you get a lot of working the knee with Drew McIntyre. And you got CM Punk on commentary, who I thought was very entertaining. He's just so good, so unnatural. You know, like he says, his mouth still works, and you hear that through the commentary. So there's a lot of counters. They're evading each other's finishers. Yeah, there's a lot of spamming of the finishers here, but a lot of in-between stuff. So not like, I would say, those matches where you would have like Goldberg and Drew McIntyre, you know, just like when you had Braun, Goldberg, and Roman, who, you know, they not only do their finishers, but they would also implement a lot of different moves in between. This was different from that, compared to some of those matches we've seen before, in like a lot of those Goldberg matches, and stuff. From there, you had the audience basically, at one point Drew McIntyre goes for the go to sleep, and CM Punk makes a funny comment, said, yeah, CM Punk is actually telling the audience what he's doing, putting them to sleep. So that was very entertaining. You had a lot of finishers, once again, with a lot of great near falls. Drew McIntyre, he then hits one more Claymore and gets the emotional pinfall 1, 2, 3 on Seth Rollins, who gave it his all, but just couldn't hack it in there with that one bad leg. And man, audience erupted. I erupted because I was so glad. I've been Drew McIntyre since the day he walked out as the chosen one, and finally seeing him win a world championship here in front of an actual audience, because the pandemic not only robbed him, but robbed the fans, robbed everybody of seeing this great moment, and robbed him of experiencing that great moment. So that was awesome to see, and you could just tell how Drew was so emotional about it, just hearing the audience around him holding the world title, and then he eventually even goes and presents the title to his wife. So I thought that was an awesome moment, as opposed to last time where, you know, he had to watch it taped during WrestleMania 36. And then from here, we get him talking trash to CM Punk as he's walking away, and as Drew McIntyre is walking away, CM Punk then has enough of this guy's crap, and he goes ahead and swifts his leg down and yanks Drew's leg, and Drew falls onto the announce table, and basically after this, CM Punk takes his arm brace off and just starts going to work on Drew McIntyre, beating him down over. He was whooping Drew McIntyre with his metal arm brace like The Rock was whooping Cody Rhodes a couple of Monday Night Raws ago. So I figured this was gonna go ahead and end up happening. exciting. Yo, we got SMP 2930. What up, man, in the chat? Thanks for joining my review. But man, that was awesome to see here. And let me go ahead and see if I can highlight your show. Yeah, I'm still getting used to this whole live stream. So there you are. Went ahead, basically, for there, getting used to this, on to this new live stream. But that being said, shout out, by the way, to Aaron Riff, who introduced me to StreamYard. So that was awesome. And then we get to the cash in. All right, since we are live, let me take a little swig of water. Make sure I keep my mouth from basically getting all messed up here. All right, so this right here is what I expected was going to happen. Damian Priest going ahead and cashing in. That man ran out like he was Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 31 with the Money in the Bank briefcase, seizing the opportunity. He throws Drew McIntyre into the ring and hits the South from Heaven choke slam in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre loses the WWE World Championship as Damian Priest now celebrates with that very title and basically goes up the ramp to celebrate with his fellow Judgment Day mates. So look at the Judgment Day. They have the top men and women's world championships on Monday Night Raw. This right here was all around great storytelling. Just all around great storytelling. There are so many parts that all intertwine with this. You got to go back to Survivor Series when Drew McIntyre didn't, or it was Damian Priest who didn't trust Rhea Ripley bringing Drew McIntyre into their alliance for the War Games. And they were going back at it. And Damian Priest like, you know, I'm going to get you, Drew. He said it. He said it in January. I said it right then. They were planting the seed for that. And we didn't think much about it, but yeah, Damian promised Drew he was going to get him back. And as these months go by, the story of how, you know, Drew, unfortunately, during that DDT, CM Punk got injured. They made a negative into a positive with Drew basically doing some of the most fantastic heel work. And you think about how he constantly kept talking about CM Punk, and you're wondering, is he too focused on CM Punk, and should he be more focused on Seth Rollins? Well, he beat Seth Rollins, but he was still too focused on CM Punk, and there's only so much trash talking you can do to the man's face. And then boom, CM Punk made him pay for it, and that ends up costing him the title, and Damian making good on his promise to Drew. I love it. This is what we can expect in the Triple H era. All these storylines where you can go back and see, oh, I see where this makes sense, and I see where that makes sense, and you put all the pieces together, and when the story's done, wow, fantastic storytelling. So that's what I really love. This was a really hot way to start off this match. Oh my gosh. All right, we're going to get to the next match here, but let me go ahead and get some more water here. Alrighty. Okay, so moving on to our next match. It is Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament, consisting of AOP and Karrion Kross, who were, of course, accompanied by Scarlett and Paul Ellering. All right, so they brought out Snoop Dogg on the commentary for this one. So I thought he was entertaining. Another great thing they did, as the special guest referee, Bubba Ray Dudley was announced. So that was cool. Of course, they're in Philadelphia. Bubba Ray being an ECW legend, it made sense, especially being that this is a street fight, and ECW was known for all that hardcore type of matches. So lots of, the match overall was very entertaining. Lots of candlesticks and stuff. You usually see in the street fights. B-Fab even gets a Russian leg sweep to Scarlett off the side of the ring apron, and they went through the table on the outside. So I thought that was cool. At one point, Karrion Kross, he gets mad against Bubba Ray Dudley because he thought it was a 3 count, but Bubba's like, no, it was a 2. So he shoves Bubba Ray, and Bubba Ray Dudley ain't gonna take no mess. So he puts on the iconic glasses, which I just realized on my stream. I got my glasses on right now. Yeah. So he takes out Which, yeah, I actually don't need these. Let me take these off. Yeah, but yeah, like Bubba Ray, he put his glasses on, and it's at that moment that, man, you knew that you just knew right there that Bubba was about to get serious. And it's kind of like from here that the match becomes really biased from Bubba Ray's standpoint, because we're getting "what's that" spots, which if you are a 2000s kid or a teenager in the 2000s, like me, you grew up with that, seeing the Dudleys do that spot, you'll remember it. That was cool to see. They even basically have a point where they're shoving each other and they're like, "Get the tables!" The typical Devon spot. So I thought that was really cool. From there, the match becomes, towards the end, we get to where Karrion Kross is placed on the table, but it breaks in half. And you got to give Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits credit because they improvised a lot by keeping the pressure on Karrion Kross and everything instead of just going like, "Oh snap, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do?" Yeah, none of that. So they set up another spot with the table, and this one actually breaks when Montez Ford lands that amazing frog splash to get the 1-2-3 victory. And then in the end, Snoop Dogg, Bubba Ray Dudley, B-Fab, Bobby Lashley, and the Street Profits are all celebrating in the ring. It's as if the fix was on the whole time, and there was just a big bias against the Final Testament. Oh man, like I said, this was a fun match, and to be honest, I really wasn't feeling this storyline. I felt it was just way too one-sided and very repetitive. It was a lot of the Street Profit. This whole feud was basically 3 to 4 months of the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley and B-Fab getting beat down by the entire Final Testament. That's pretty much what the story was. But the match was entertaining and made up for it. So I thought that was good. All right, we're going to move on to our next match here. All right. So the next match was LA Knight, versus AJ Styles. So I'm glad, honestly, in general, that LA Knight and Bobby Lashley got matches this year. If you all remember, it was at WrestleMania 39 last year. They got nothing. Well, yeah, I don't think AJ Styles, no, it was LA, didn't even get an appearance, and Bobby just came out there to pose with the trophy. But that being put aside, they had their matches this year. AJ Styles came out to some new music. I think I need to hear more of it, but so far I think what I heard sounds pretty good. It does sound more ominous to fit with his new heel persona, so definitely gotta go ahead and give it that. And then as far as the match, I really like the way this starts out. AJ Styles just runs down, takes his vest off, and these guys just start hammering each other with their fence. And that's the psychology of the story. It's built on a bad blood feud with, breaking into people's homes. That's exactly, you're not going to want to start off very, professional like with a collar and elbow tie up. No, they went at it. There were some little nice details in this match, like LA Knight pulling back the the mat below to try and hurt AJ Styles really bad, but AJ, of course, gives him a backdrop on the concrete. So little nice details right there that would once again make sense in a blood feud match like this. We did get some really cool, solid action between these two, but in the end, LA Knight picks up the win with the blunt force trauma, technically now being undefeated at WrestleMania. It's true, 1-0, but still undefeated nonetheless. Overall, this was a really good match between these two. I thought it was AJ Styles' best match since, I think, in terms of being in the ring, his best match probably since WrestleMania 33 against Shane McMahon. I was there live for that one in person, and of course, the cinematic match with The Undertaker at 36 was awesome. But yeah, this was good. This is definitely going to have to go up there as one of the best AJ Styles matches at WrestleMania. So yeah, man, these guys put on a really good match, and I really like that this may have seemed like it was just a feud to put these two guys together because they had nothing else better for them to do, but man, these guys worked at it. I applaud what they did with the storyline. I really like the attention detail when AJ home were almost got invaded by LA Knight, and they actually had dash cam footage. Just there was a lot of great stuff in this feud, I thought, just to make things make sense. So that was really awesome. And then we're going to move on. Oh, yeah, there was another cool thing I was going to say. They brought out the WWE Hall of Famers, class of 2024. Always a classy thing to see. That was great. Paul Heyman especially coming out to the old ECW theme. And when they showed the Bray Wyatt trailer for his documentary, the audience was lighting up their cell phones. Of course, Bray Wyatt, rest in peace, definitely should have been here for WrestleMania. He will never be forgotten. So that was really cool to see. All right, so now we are going to get to the triple threat match for the WWE United States Championship. Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul. All right, so Logan Paul comes out to the ring in his prime hydration. I used to think it was an energy drink because I don't really keep up with Logan Paul, like I said, but the dude can definitely get down as a WWE superstar when it comes to his in-ring work and just overall superstar packaging when it comes to knowing how to be in the ring, on the microphone and in the ring, just stuff like that. And Kevin Owens, he drives his own vehicle to the ring, but as Randy Orton is coming out, Kevin Owens backs up and gives Randy Orton a ride down to the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never, ever at WrestleMania seen one opponent give another opponent a ride to the ring for the very same match that they are going to be competing in. That was pretty hilarious. And this was basically the telling of what the match was going to be. I should also mention they kind of gave Kevin Owens the same entrance they gave Sami Zayn to hype him up. And I'm like, oh snap, are they really going to go with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn as the mid-card champions? So, as far as the first part of this match, it was a glorified handicap match because what we're getting here is Randy Orton and KO just beating down Logan Paul until they both got the pinfall at once. And now it's like, okay, they remember this is a triple threat match, and it always goes like this. You remember Kane and Undertaker? For those of you that watch Breakdown 1998, Kane and Taker were being a whole team against Stone Cold, but when they both went for the pinfall at the same time and realized that title was on the line, now we got issues. So that's pretty much what was going on here. And Randy Orton, he's the first one to try and KO Kevin Owens when he's not looking at the match from here, and it becomes a triple threat match basically. All right, so as Logan Paul, he does this beautiful looking buckshot lariat double clothesline to both KO and Randy Orton. So that was really cool. There's one part of this match for Randy Orton and Logan Paul are hammering each other back and forth with punches, and Logan Paul gets the better of Orton. And of course, they bring up on commentary this makes sense because he went toe-to-toe with Floyd Mayweather. So yeah, that was awesome to see. There were some really nice details in this match, like Randy Orton not knowing who to RKO when both men were getting up. He tries to RKO Logan, but Kevin Owens ends up doing this. Kevin Owens ends up getting in the way of this cool spot where he gives Randy a code breaker, and he lands back first to Logan Paul like a senton on Logan as he finishes off getting Randy Orton the code breaker. So that was like a really cool sequence on how that worked together. I should have probably put it in my notes better there though. There's a part where Logan Paul gets the brass knucks, and Randy, he already sensed it coming, and so they get into like this tug of war, and Logan gets behind it and rakes Randy Orton's eyes, knocks him down, knocks KO down, and from here Randy Orton kicks out, and he nearly, actually I believe at this point, has the match won because he gets the RKO on Logan Paul, but it is broken up by someone in the prime hydration drink as the mascot, who last year was KSI, who's, once again, I don't follow him at all. I'm thinking that's who this was here, but it was, and I believe they said the name is I Show Speedin. Once again, I am not familiar with him, but I Show Speedin is the one, and this guy, he was just basically talking a lot of trash, so much so cussing in Randy Orton's face that they were censoring it, and then he starts barking like a dog. And for Randy Orton, man, just goes boom, kicks him down, and then rips the mascot prime outfit off of him and puts him on the table. And this was hilarious right here. So before Randy Orton delivers the RKO, he's got the guy basically like this, and he just goes, and then he does the RKO and lays that guy out. I was cracking up, man. So that was hilarious. Most hilarious RKO spot I've seen. But the ending sequence to the match was fantastic. Kevin Owens goes for the pop-up power bomb, but in midair, Randy Orton twists his body, grabs KO by the neck, and lands the RKO out of nowhere. That was awesome. And then Logan Paul immediately comes in and basically throws Randy Orton out of the ring, making Randy Orton hit the metal steel post with his the metal steel post on his shoulder. So Randy's out, and then Logan Paul basically goes to the up on top of top of the ropes and does the frog splash and lands the 1-2-3 pinfall on Kevin Owens, retaining the championship just as I predicted he would. Now, I got to give props to all three of these guys because I knew with the talents involved, this match was going to be good. But man, I did not know this match was going to be this good. These guys really delivered a tremendous triple threat match at WrestleMania that was entertaining from start to finish. So fantastic work from there. All right. Now we get to the co-main event. Bayley versus Iyo Sky for the WWE Women's Championship. All right, so Bayley has new entrance music that it just basically sounds like a remix to her previous theme, Deliverance, which I'm a big fan of. Sounds nice. Sounds nice. So no complaints, and it had a very Egyptian feel to it because Bayley, of course, here came out in an Egyptian-inspired entrance, with basically just the guys that were carrying her to the ring, who are probably some of the upcoming stars in NXT. Good to look out. Never forget that her fellow other three horsewomen, a couple of her other fellow horsewomen and Alexa Bliss once carried Triple H to the ring, basically, or at least walked out to the ring with him at WrestleMania 10 years ago, and look where they are now. So these guys one day might be talking about how, hey, they helped Bayley to the ring one day and look where they are now. So that was really cool. Bayley's gear looked awesome. Once again, very Egyptian theme-esque. And then even the Titantron effects for Iyo Sky's entrance looked fantastic. She came out with a sick looking jacket, but Damage CTRL stayed behind. So Iyo Sky, to her credit, as even a heel, she kept this one-on-one. And I figured they had to because I knew there was going to be shenanigans in that main event. So of course they're not going to repeat the same thing here. So it was good that they did keep it a one-on-one fight. And then, yeah, very much the nice thing about the match here is the audience was really into it. They were singing the whole Bayley song, like, hey, all that stuff with Bayley. So that was cool. Now she's a babyface again. Plus there's probably a lot of the UK crowd there, and they usually always sing that for Bayley when they're over there. But both ladies started off with an intense tie-up, and we've seen Bayley, I think, break out some moves that we haven't seen her done in a while, since now she's a babyface. Of course, I think she's been adding a more aggressive style since she's been working as a heel for the last 4 to 5 years. Yeah, but I think 5 years now. And from there, eventually, and that's from what I can remember, though. Eventually, though, after Tope Suicida out the ring, Bayley starts limping, and this becomes the story of the match from here. Iyo is basically working over the leg with Seth. I mean, I say Seth Rollins, but she's working over the leg against Bayley. So very much like Seth Rollins, Bayley is now trying to overcome the odds of beating Iyo on one leg. So there's some nice looking spots here, like Bayley doing a sunset flip that sends the back of Io's head into the ring, into the turnbuckle. Iyo Sky hits a suplex. Yeah, she hits a really good looking German suplex on Bayley and rolls back and holds on to Bayley and does another German suplex. So that was really cool. And then when it goes on from when she goes for the over the moonsault, I think is what she calls it, Bayley gets both feet in the air, and it looks like she basically that when Iyo Sky came down, because like Bayley had both her feet in the air and Iyo Sky lands on it and just bounces right off like halfway across the ring. It looked phenomenal. And then from there, Yeah, twice Io does this amazing counters into the crossface and even transitions into an STF. I mean, I cannot put Io over enough for how gorgeous her transitions and timing was in this match for the counters. Both women, they really start getting emotional, going back and forth, brawling, because of building up about the friendship that is now broken. At one point, Bayley goes for the Bayley to belly again, only for Io to transition it into a beautiful pin that gets a near fall on Bayley. And finally, Iyo Sky does land the moonsault, but Bayley kicks out. From here, Iyo Sky, she just starts spamming the moonsault over and over, like jumping on like the middle rope and then going back and jumping on the top rope and then doing it again. But I think when she tries it the third time, she ends up actually missing it. And when she ends up missing the third one, it's from here that Bayley comes along and she basically does a 3-hit combo here. She delivers the like a backdrop, like like a side backdrop, and then from there hits the elbow in the Macho Man Randy Savage style. Ooh yeah, and then finishes Io with the Rose Plant, which I think I forgot to mention. She hit the Rose Plant almost earlier, but Io did an amazing counter where she stopped it by landing on her feet, and this caused Bayley to go knee first into the canvas, and Io rolled through, and it looked fantastic. Once again, I cannot stress how awesome the counters in this match was. But yeah, after the second Rose Plant, Io gets hit with by Bayley. Bayley scores the 1-2-3 for the championship to win, the women's title. This was fantastic. Now listen, Rhea versus Becky I thought was good last night, but this match I thought, man, was great. Like I would say Rhea versus Becky was good. This match was great. I thought this is definitely the best of the two women's championship matches we saw, and honestly the best of all the women's matches, and certainly definitely one of the show-stealing matches here in terms of like a lot of the other matches we had on the card. This was fantastic. Great emotion when Bayley won. It's so good to see Bayley, after spending all these years, she really helped carry the company a lot throughout the pandemic, and now seeing where she was able to basically, help build up Bianca over the last couple of years, and some of the other women having a good feud with Becky. Now it was Bayley's turn. Now she's back on top of the mountain as a champion, and we're going to see this new role model character that she created on the babyface side, and I'm all here for it. This was fantastic. Great shot, really showing what Io can do in the ring. So I thought she got a pretty good, decent championship run here. I just wish she would have won most of her matches clean, but nonetheless, this was great. And once again, I love the story of how it all builds up. And then some of the other things we got to before we get to the main event here. Snoop Dogg announced that the full attendance for both nights was 145,298. Absolutely fantastic at how on fire the WWE is. All right, let me take a water because boy, is the next one going to be something. All right, let's get going here. All right, and now for the main event. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman in a Bloodline Rules match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Oh, man. What a main event. I'm going to go ahead and try and keep it all together here. All right, so Cody Rhodes, he gets a dramatic entrance with a skull, and it is accompanied by his wife Brandy Rhodes, and of course he has an amazing jacket on, but he walks to the ring alone. Now, Roman Reigns, this man, he came out with a whole orchestra doing his theme song, and they, of course, killed it. So I thought that was really awesome. And then also, before I get to mention on last night's stream, that there was some history actually made. The Rock joined The Undertaker as the only two men in the main event of WrestleMania, or the only two men to main event WrestleMania in 4 different decades. And Roman Reigns made history by tying Hulk Hogan for the most main events in WrestleMania history at 8. But as of this WrestleMania Night 2, the all-time record was for the most WrestleManias broken at number 9 for Roman Reigns. So that was also really good to hear. That being said, Samantha Irving, she killed the introduction again with both guys looking in tremendous shape. Also, much shout out to the camera work. They had these high-level Sony cameras, it looked like, getting that shadow depth of field where the background was blurred out and you had the wrestlers in sharp focus. Looked fantastic. They were doing this for a lot of the big world championship matches, so that was awesome. And then the audience, man, when the bell rang, they were tremendous atmosphere. All right, I'm gonna do my best with my notes here to try and recap the absolute craziness that was this match. Once again, let me get some water for this one. All right, so both guys, they start off ahead in the with this match, basically going back and forth. At one point, Cody starts pulling out a table because it's Bloodline rules and it's in Philadelphia and the fans cheer. And then Roman, he knocks Cody down and puts the table back and just basically tells the fans, you know, just basically waving them off, which is great heel work for Roman, knowing where he is, Philadelphia, knowing that the ECW audience is gonna want that them tables. The Bloodline let's see, the Bloodline rules match. So yeah, the Bloodline rules pretty much comes into play here, into great effect into the match as Cody Rhodes digs into his father's arch nemesis book. Of course, Ric Flair doing the figure 4 leg lock, only for Roman to basically rake the eyes in front of the referee, Charles Robinson. Nothing he can do about it, and that's how that goes. So I was kind of finding it funny that at this point, like, it's Bloodline rules. What stops Roman Reigns from just getting all the Bloodline members out there and just attacking Cody from the start? There's nothing the referee can do, but I guess Roman, you know, to his credit as a heel, he wants to be it somewhat fair, I guess. But yeah, both guys, they were brawling outside the ring. Cody does a suplex on a platform to the audience, while they're fighting in the audience, and then we get back in the ring, and there's a really great counter where Cody goes for the disaster kid, but in midair, Roman catches him and reverses it into the last ride powerbomb, which is of course the Undertaker, an Undertaker specialty. And of course Cody kicks out. The trash talking I thought was awesome, on point. Roman was dropping uncensored B bombs, Pat McAfee dropping uncensored S bombs on commentary. We even get to see Roman break out a beautiful transition into a fisherman suplex. So Roman always showing that, hey, he's more than just, you know, spear and all that and clotheslines and stuff like that. Roman taking out some of the technical wrestling when he has to. I remember he said that once in an interview. So yeah, Roman from here controls a good portion of the match, but Cody Rhodes starts making a comeback and eventually gets caught by Roman Reigns when trying to deliver the disaster kick into getting hit with his own finisher, the Crossroads, which he does kick out in the audience. You could tell kind of brought into that one because there's nothing more humiliating. For me, I was sitting here like, I'm not going to start buying into the near falls until all the shenanigans are out the way, because you know they were coming in this match. So Cody, he shows great resilience as Roman basically power bombs him through the announce table and then does a Superman punch in the ring. Cody's still kicking out. There's a great part in the match where Cody Rhodes counters Roman trying to do the rock bottom and lays him out with the spear, but Roman of course kicks out of the great near fall. So, you know, that reminds me back in the day when Stone Cold and The Rock were trading blows, doing each other's finishers. So I really like the call to that. When Cody Rhodes is nearly has the match won with the Crossroads, Jimmy Uso comes out, and I'm like, all right, it's Shenanigan City, and I knew it was gonna happen, but it definitely made sense to go there for this match, for the drama. And Jey Uso ends up coming out and starts fighting off Jimmy, and they end up going all the way up to the ramp, and Jey Uso spears Jimmy Uso off the stage to the platform below, and that takes Jimmy Uso out of the match. And so that was cool, and I kind of figured this is going to be the theme. Everybody who maybe was wronged by the bloodline is probably going to come out, something like that. That's what I was fearing at this point. So from here, Roman hits the spear, but Cody kicks out again, and eventually Cody is able to turn the tables on Roman Reigns by spearing him through the barricade that gets a "This is awesome" chant. Like I said, this move is used quite a lot. It doesn't feel nearly as special, but honestly, in the heat of the moment of the match, I was still into it, so it still worked for me here. And then they do last year's spot. Cody hits 2 crossroads, and then before he could hit the third, Solo Sikoa comes up out from behind, comes into the ring from behind him and nails him with the Samoan spike. And basically Cody goes down, Roman goes for the pin, but this time Cody Rhodes kicks out. So I thought it was great. If you're gonna have shenanigans and you're gonna have drama, then yes, you gotta go there. Have the last year's spot just so everybody can go like, oh, not again. And I thought that was great that they were doing it. So yeah, shenanigans really well done here. And then what we get here, as I figured, John Cena makes a surprise appearance. John Cena runs out, massive ovation, and like I said, I'm not a big John Cena fan, but I was basically getting off my chair, jumping up and down because I knew where the story was going. And basically from here, it was cool. Solo Sikoa gets in the ring. Yeah, Cena takes on Solo Sikoa, gets him with the AA, and then he knocks out down Roman Reigns as well, which I'm like, oh, did John Cena have to hit Roman? I thought the idea would be nice to have everybody who makes a surprise in this match. That'd be one little critique I got about this match, is everybody should just basically try to even odds, but don't touch Roman. Only Cody should be touching Roman to get the finish, so that way he beat Roman one-on-one. But nonetheless, it doesn't take away the match. And then he puts Solo through the table, and from here, The Rock comes out, and John Cena's looking in the back, so they're playing up where we left off 11 years ago. The Rock gets into the ring, and him and John Cena are face to face. Audience is going crazy. And here we go, playing up WrestleManias 28 and 29. So, from here, we end up getting Rock and Cena face off, and Cena goes for a punch, but The Rock counters with the Rock Bottom, and that takes John Cena out of the match. And now The Rock is lining up to take that belt out, just like he told Mama Rose to go ahead and whoop Cody again. And while this is the moment where I hope we were going to hear the glass shatter, it wasn't meant to be, but what they did instead was still pretty cool. We hear the gong and the lights go out, and I'm like, oh, okay, Taker's in the ring. Lights come on, Undertaker's behind The Rock, and Rock is looking and selling with his eyes open, just like he used to, and the Undertaker's looking furious at The Rock, and he chokeslams The Rock, and it really brings me back to that promo that he told The Rock 24 years ago, one of the rare times that The Rock got owned on the mic, where he said, I don't dress like Satan anymore, but I'm still down with the devil, and I will go medieval on your ass. And hey, he tried to warn The Rock 24 years ago, and he came back and made good on that promise 24 years later. So after this, the gong goes on again, lights go out, lights come back on, and audience is going crazy. Even Michael Cole's like, this is crazy. And I figured it was going to be like Avengers Endgame. And from here, it is, I forgot to mention, before the Undertaker spot, Seth Rollins came out in the Shield gear, and I'm like, how are they going to do this? Roman's in the ring, John Moxley's in AEW, and The Rock is waiting. He's like, where are you? Where are you? Seth Rollins runs into the ring in his Shield gear to try and hit The Rock in the back with the chair, but Roman Reigns comes in and hits him with the Superman punch and lays him out. And what I thought was a really and that's where, they get to this part after the Undertaker chokeslams The Rock. Then Roman Reigns gets in the ring with a steel chair, and he sees Seth Rollins, and he nails Seth Rollins right in the back, just like Seth Rollins did to him in 2014 when he originally broke up the Shield. So really love the nice storytelling. But at this point, we are where we expected to be in the match. All the Bloodline members are gone. All the people that came out on behalf of Cody Rhodes are gone. It is now The Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes one-on-one. The moment of question, can Roman Reigns still defeat Cody Rhodes when it's one-on-one, no bloodline? So from here, Cody Rhodes is able, of course, to evade getting hit by Roman Reigns. He gets the upper hand. I actually think Roman went for a spear, and Cody Rhodes kicks Roman Reigns right in the chest, and then he grabs Roman Reigns and hits 3 consecutive crossroads, just like he tried to do at WrestleMania 29, but there was interference. Does it again here at WrestleMania 4, this time with all the interference being swept away. One-on-one, he lands all 3 crossroads and gets the 1, 2, 3, and man, such an emotional eruption from the audience. I was out of my chair jumping up and down like, yes, this was amazing. The commentators, everybody, just so much emotion that Cody Rhodes has finished the story. He has ended the nearly 4-year reign of Roman Reigns. He has now become the new undisputed WWE Universal Champion, thus finally finishing the story. Man, the emotion from everybody was insane. After the Cody wins the championship, you could hear Samantha Irvin was choked up crying as she's trying to get out the announcement of Cody Rhodes being the new champion. Even the commentators were emotional. You can hear it in Michael Cole's voice. Cody Rhodes' wife, Brandy Rhodes, and everyone else that was wronged by the bloodline gets in the ring to celebrate. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, LA Knight, John Cena, and Randy Orton. We get Mama Rose and CM Punk even eventually getting into the ring to congratulate CM Punk along with the rest of his family. Cody Rhodes then calls out Bruce Pritchard and Triple H to come out to join in celebration. Cody Rhodes, he hugs Bruce Pritchard, he shakes hands and hugs Triple H, and then he hugs his wife and starts to hug the commentators. We even get Cody and Seth Rollins shaking hands. Everyone eventually leaves the ring as Cody Rhodes is celebrating in the ring. Cody even shows respect to Nick Khan and the cameraman and the fans at ringside. Just really good to see Cody actually just not only celebrating with everyone that you would expect him to celebrate with, but even giving props to, like I said, the cameraman. That's something you probably would have never seen in the Vince McMahon era. It just really goes to show you that Cody Rhodes appreciates all the work from everyone, no matter where they are, in front of the camera or behind the scenes. It just really goes to show you, man, I gotta go ahead and shout out SMP, some of his comments there. Yes, we've been live, and let's see this. Oh yeah, man, you're on point with that. The spirit of Dusty came to life tonight. Absolutely, man. Dusty Rhodes, I agree with you. SMP would be very proud of what his son accomplished tonight in this ring. And man, it was one of the most emotional endings to WrestleMania I think we've ever seen. And the last shot before they go ahead and play the WrestleMania highlights is Cody Rhodes going up the stage with the Undisputed Universal WWE Championship, having finally brought the world title to the Rhodes family. There was even a nice moment where he presented the championship to his mother. Man, that was fantastic. And only other one little nitpick I could really think about the match, given the storyline, was I was hoping that Mama Rose was going to take that belt and whack The Rock in the back with it. Just would have been so poetic, but that's fine. Like I said, it doesn't take. Having Undertaker come out there as the chokeslam was fine enough. Would have been great, but hey, we all know Stone Cold, if he can't make it and give it 100%, he's not going to show up, and that's very respectable about him as a performer. So even without not getting Stone Cold, I still thought it was tremendous. But nonetheless, this was, like I said, a great main event. Honestly, Triple H tonight, and just the overall event, Triple H proved with his booking tonight that the fans can trust long-term booking and not feel like they waited a year or two for nothing, as it happened so many times during the Vince McMahon era. Like I said, Vince McMahon, throughout the decades, tremendous in what he brought for WWE, but towards the end of his run there, how many times did a lot of us longtime WWE fans watch a product and we invest into something for a year or 2 years, and then it was for nothing. Like, the payoff just wasn't there. Like, man. And that's what Triple H proved tonight, that we can put that trust in him as fans for the long-term story. So I thought that was really tremendous that they did with that. Oh my gosh, what a main event here. What a main event indeed. And then let's see, we got SMP with another comment here. Let's see what he says. I'm glad that Triple H was able to listen to every creator to help make this story great. Dude, content creators, fans, just fans in general who aren't even content creators, just listening to what everyone had to say was tremendous. And yeah, you said for the betterment of the company. Yeah, I mean, just listening to your fan base in general. Triple H clearly showed he cares about the fans, and that is most definitely what is going to be important moving forward. And honestly, in my overall thoughts, by the way, SMP, once again, thank you for joining the stream tonight. My overall thoughts in terms of WrestleMania 40, I thought night 2 was better than night 1. Night 1 was good, night 2 was great, and it overall balances out to what I believe was one of the all-time great WrestleManias. I can't really see how this can't go down as one of the all-time great WrestleManias. There wasn't a bad match on either night. There were good matches and great matches. And if you've got a whole card full of good, great matches with great outcomes that all make sense for the storyline, and, you know, it really makes sense in terms of the story, man, that was really awesome. SMP here says that he meant it for the backstage creator for most definitely. Oh, okay, I got what you're coming from, SMP. But yeah, this was fantastic overall. Definitely WrestleMania 40 is an ultimate winner that's going to go down in the history books as one of the all-time greats. That said, let me know what you thought of both nights of WrestleMania 40 in the comments below, and check out my other WWE content here on the screen as well. Also, remember to like, subscribe, and follow by hitting the notification bell so that you are notified when the new content that I release is out. Thanks for watching, and take care.